where I fit in, homie. Let me get in where I fit in, homie. Let me get in where I fit in, homie. Who am I but I'm Dre Mac? Came into the game just to spit facts. Into the space that I'm in. They got me by the Drake cause I'm cold with the pen. I find no diamonds but I feel shy. You can dig me cause my bar's mine. My tracks flame like a diamond. I want to pour it on my tongue. Thinking it's a warm blue. I'ma throw with a gas leak. Camouflage in the mist, but you smell me. One spark, then I bet you I'ma blow up. Then throw my name around, get stupid, then you go dumb. No rest for the weary, or versus thinking in his man, but you can't see me. You rather drink than go pull up, but jerk a knife through the game, homie. Let me get in where I fit in, homie. Let me get in where I fit in, homie. Let me get in where I fit in, homie. Let me get in where I fit in, homie. I came to eat at the a la carte. Got stripped of a bear, come be brainstorm. Then I come together like a Voltron. Then I poured all the plaques, you use a Decepticon. Straight rappers to the streets like Cobra. 80s they before they like. Up in the storage and I'm E-man. Up, down, down, then I'm cheap. You a beast, man. I take a beat in. Ninja Turtle rap, Turtle Clans get defeated. Hop in my ride, you can call me Night Rider. You can never stop me, cause I'm a guy bomb. Bad attitude like a rocket, my whole to the A, and I bet you can stop us. LL bad, when I go and show up, you can hear the haters in the back. Let me get in where I fit in, homie. Let me get in where I fit in, homie. Let me get in where I fit in, homie. Let me get in where I fit in, homie.
This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce. To get that honey sauce on me, I don't like the way it tastes with my chicken wings.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What is going on, everybody? This is your man Dre Mac coming to you again with another episode of the Dre Mac Show. I got on my Batman shirt today. You know why I got my Batman shirt on? Because I am the vengeance. I'm the knight. I am Batman. And I came to slap grifters. I was actually watching the Batman last night. And every time a grifter makes these dumbass proclamations, calling something slop, I gotta come in. We gotta fight, truth and all of that. We gotta see, what type of slop these people are spewing out their mouths and what misinformation is being done, because we went through Critical Drinker, Hills versus Babyface. Guess who's next? Neurotic. But wait, there's more. Oh man, there's more of this crap than meets the eye. Even Optimus Prime says this is more to this crap than meets the eye. This is ridiculous. So, yep, we are going to go over Neurotic's video. Now, Neurotic doesn't his voice doesn't piss me off like Hills versus Babyface or even the Critical Stinker. Or I'm sorry, let me get back to the real names. Mayor McNugget and the Critical Stinker, you know. But this cat is most definitely annoying as hell too. You know, so yes, I'm doing reaction video tours them myself, along with listening to High CHD, along with listening to Utterly Noah, along with listening to the Birdman and others, because these dudes got to be called out. So let's get into it. So hopefully you guys are happy. Hopefully you guys are healthy. Shout out to my man Heavy Gant over at the Heavy Gant React channel, which you already know how it is. The real question is,
are you say why you hating on my energy? Say why you hating on my energy? I don't think you wanna be my enemy.
All right. And you know, because it's the usual suspects when it comes to this stuff, because these people cannot help themselves. Let's see what they're talking about. All right, let's see what's all in the house today. What up, Andre Ware? What up? Alvaro Rodriguez, good morning. Krisha Key, good morning. Savage Cabbage, good morning. Erica D, aka She Loves Fantasy, good morning. Let me see. Robbie D is up here. Good to see Robbie D is up here. Always. That's the admin. Make sure that you smash this like button like Neurotic, Mayor McNugget, and Thumbhead like to smash them biscuits with the honey sauce. Let me see. Junior Network, good morning. Justice Note, good morning. No more racism, good morning. Let me see. Xavier Phoenix, aka the X-Man. What's up? Good morning. Tina, aka Mintygasm, is up here. Good morning. Woo. Chris TV, good morning. Oh, whoa. Oh, snap. Let me see. Oh, my man Jericho is up here, aka Bruce Leroy. What's up? Let me see. Tori. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. Yeah, Tori Ray Reloaded. What's up? Okay. All right, cool. Okay. All right, cool. It's another day, another grift. That's what it is. It's another day, another grift. They can't help. I'm trying to tell you, they can't help themselves. This is what these dudes do. Especially this video came out literally like when I tell you right after the trailer dropped. This came legitimately right after the trailer dropped. And it was crazy. What's up, Big Smash? What's good? Just neurotic, doing neurotic things. Like if I had to champion who is, you know, the ringleader, Geeks and Gamers most definitely are the ringleaders when it comes to grifting, their bigotry, all of that. Then you got neurotic, critical stinker, you know what I mean? Mayor McNugget, Eric Fulai, you know what I'm saying? You got them, and then you got the ones who can't help but they want to grift so bad, and they try to tell you it's not a grifter, like Thumbhead Magnus, you know. Stevie Knight is a grifter from a whole nother set. You got to go over there to the reaction video set where he making money off of rap video reaction videos, and then turn around and tell you how bad black people are. That's what he does. You know what I mean? So what up, J. Carter? What's up? So yeah, that's what he does. Oh my God. And like I said, now my reactions are always natural. So with Snarky J, I actually didn't have a problem with what she said. Skip Stevie Knight, butter biscuit eating bastard. But uh but I didn't have a problem with what she said about Supergirl at all. Like, she was in the clear. Now I know that Utterly Noah just made a video about Snarky J and other, they call pick me grifters. So I got to do a video on that one sometime soon. I might have to do, because there's so much this week that I might just have to do. It'll start off members. This is what your membership gives you. I do a video. Members get it first, and then everybody else will get to react to it. You know what I mean? But I might have to just do it as a video because there's so much that happened in the last 24 hours that is hard to keep up with all of it, which is good. It gives us material to be able to do. I mean, the Rob Reiner incident, RIP to Rob Reiner and his wife. That the situation that happened with them is so freaking heartbreaking because I remember watching All in the Family. You know what I'm saying? Him as B-Head. We were just talking about yesterday Stand By Me, which Rob Reiner did. So, I mean, there's a lot that's going on right now. Great producer. Yeah, Carl Carlton. She's a Batman pajama. Doom doom. Just as fine as she can be. Nah, that's my song. I ain't gonna lie. That's my song. You know what I mean? But yeah, it said your grandma Anthony Garrett. I think I know who that is too. But yeah, it's a lot. It's just a lot going on. It's a lot of news. It's a lot of stuff going on. We're still on Warner Brothers watch. Oh, Luke for General. That's right. Luke for General Hospital. That's right. But yeah, exactly. J. Carter. You know what I mean? But you know what? Also, gets you going. I know being an anti-woke grifter for Tyrone Magnus hasn't worked well for him. But you know who has worked well? All you magnificent crew members that go and support the channel, man. Let's go. Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait. Whoa. Stop everything you're doing. Go and hit that like button. I know this is probably your first time watching, and you probably enjoying everything. Stop fucking on the channel and go and hit that subscribe button so you never miss one of my videos or one of my morning live streams. And for only $2.99 a month, you can be a part of the crew. And shout out to all my crew members that been holding it down for Dre Mack and the crew since the beginning. All right, back to your regularly scheduled program, now in service. Go. Bye. All right. It again. If you did, this is your first time watching it and you wanted to join and be a part of the crew, all you got to do is hit that join button on the main page. And yes, we will most definitely, you'll most definitely be a part of this crew. Yeah. He was the villain in The Mask, and yeah, there's a lot going on. What happened to the Hot 97 crew? What happened to them? But like I said, when you get paid for calling stuff slop, Peter Green, yeah. When you I love him. I do love him in Blue Streak too. I love him in Blue Streak. But yeah. Oh, they got the Hot 97 crew got fired? Damn. That's wild. Was War Wilder is what President Trump said about Rob Reiner after his murder. Man was murdered allegedly by his son. And Trump comes out and write this whole thing because he didn't like Trump. You didn't have to say, you could just RIP to Rob Reiner. It kept it moving. Nah, you had to throw shots. This is wild. This is wild. This is wild. I ain't never in my life, in the whole time I've been here, have ever heard anything like this. This place is crazy. This place is crazy, dude. And the shit stops. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to cuss a little bit, Miss Roberta, but the shit starts up top. And it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. It's like I can disrespect you, but dare don't disrespect the person that I wanna deify at one time. This is ridiculous. And at the end of the day, whether we believe somebody's politics or not, people were murdered. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, that's what's going on. What's up, Priscetta? So, RIP to them and the heartbreak that their families had to go through. Who cares about what political stance that they were taking? Like, seriously, I'm just being honest. I can disagree with your politics, but hate to see something viciously or vilely happen to you. Like, whatever happened to that? Like, but like Stevie Knight said, you know what I'm saying? These people can't be talked about, and Stevie Knight is a butter biscuit eating grifter, so whatever. He's out here tasting the biscuits, so these people can't be. This is ridiculous. But we're about to transition over. You already know. We are about to take a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back with more of the Dre Mack Show.
We'll be
right back. It's just your mama's raisin butter biscuits. That's all it is.
Not my mama biscuits.
Whoop de doo.
Take a love to a biscuit, man.
Whoop de doo.
Okay, so what happened is one time Randy Beeman went on a trip with his dad, and they picked up a lady who wanted to ride home, and this was in Kansas. And she sat in the back seat, and when they got where she wanted to go, they turned around and she was gone. And Randy Beeman's dad talked to the man who lived there and told him what the lady looked like. And the man said, "Oh, that's my wife, but she died 4 years ago." Spooky, huh? Okay, bye.
Whoop de doo.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
Whoop de doo.
Good idea. Visiting the circus. Bad idea. Having the circus visit you.
We now return to the Transformers.
All right. Let's get into it. Of course, this is neurotic. Superheroes are cooked. The Absolute State, Marvel, and DC. More super slop from a grifter. Let's see what the grift is today. I just want you to pay attention. Just pay attention. He's using Superman as his intro. Just pay attention. What up, Wavy Thames? What's up, Mario Fake Warrior? See, I already knew it. He was going to use, you see, first of all the trailers that he used was white men. Where's Blade at? Where's T'Challa at? He used the Snyderverse. You know, he used original Superman. Cool. Where's Supergirl at? Where's the original Supergirl? Oh, you don't want to use that. These dudes are not fans. These dudes are complainers that get paid.
Nerderotic.com.
Greetings, you over 1 million lovers of all things good and dislike.
See, 1 million. When you have 1 million subscribers to your channel, you're making bread. Just saying. I'm going to be honest with you. If I was disjointed, disheartening, had no feelings, didn't care about anything, didn't care about you as an audience, didn't care about your intelligence as an audience, didn't care about any of that, and I wanted to sell my soul to Mephisto, you damn right I'd be a grifter. I grift now. It ain't that serious. It ain't that serious. And no, I know Neurotic used to have his shop. He's also a former remember we pulled up, was a criminal also. He could have his own comic book shop. The man was a criminal before you know he got into the nerd space. So him grifting is actually didn't he sell, wasn't he out here selling that smack? Wasn't he selling smack to dairy? So yeah, he's the YouTube version of Tim Allen.
Likers of all things bad, I don't think I'm going out on a limb here by saying it hasn't been a good year for superhero films. Many of us said back in July of 2025, its future would be decided with the release of Superman and the Fantastic Four First Steps. And that answer came in the form of resounding mediocrity and diminishing returns, which is sad because in many...
It's funny because, again, this is they want you to paint a narrative. That's it. They want to paint a narrative. And this is the way to do it. What's up, Kendall? They try to say it's mediocre, mediocrity, all of that, right? Until you actually look at, it's a diminishing return. What does diminishing returns mean? It means you are not making the money you thought you should be, which, again, you can talk shit on Superman, but you also have to understand that Superman has never really been a big money maker. It's never been a $1 billion movie. You can Snyder Bro this and Snyder Bro that. It's never been a $1 billion movie. Never. What's up, Blue Sky? It's Turner. What's up? It's never. Knowledge Smith, what's up? It's never been a $1 billion movie. So you can't sit up there and point to that and say, look, this is a $1 billion movie that after James Gunn got it, it went downhill. You can never say that because it's never been in that realm. Studios greenlight movies and sequels that what make money. So it has to make some sort of return for them to make money. Q is not a robot. What's up? To make money. It has also been reported that with the Superman movie, that I think they said that it made over. Let me make sure. Let me make for sure. Hold on. I think it made over $100 million in return. Hold on. Let me look this up. Hold on. Give me just a second. Hold on. Okay, so this is just the AI, or I'm just reading it. for you guys, since I am showing this. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna just share this to my to my MacBook. And just hold on. Oh my God, what is going? Come on, airdrop it. Why are you being slow? All right, give me just a second. Because now it's being slow. All right. Never mind that, because you're being slow and whacked. All right. So it said for James Gunn's Superman 2025, reports vary with some sources citing it estimated 100 million to 125 million profit, potentially including ancillary revenues like streaming home video, while skeptics suggest the theatrical profit was much lower, around 25 million, as figures might conflate projections with final earnings and inflate numbers. A Variety article mentioned by fans claimed $125 million profit, but this was likely a forecast. Earlier reports suggest Man of Steel made more theatrically, making Superman 2025 a confusing profitable story per this Reddit thread and other thread users. And this is just the AI deep dive. All right, this is what IMDb said. Superman mass surprise. Oh God, get off of here. All right, new reports indicates that Superman 2025 was a major financial success for Warner Brothers. James Gunn DCU has an increasingly bright future thanks to his first theatrical movie, Superman, becoming one of the biggest movies of the year. While earning fantastic reviews from critics and fans, it also did what it needed to do in terms of dollars and cents for his parent company. Superman reportedly generated about 125 million in profits margins for Warner Brothers. Variety reported the profit margins for Superman just over 8 weeks after the movie debut in theaters worldwide on July 11th. As a writing, Gunn's first solo movie for the last of the Crib time grossed $613 million globally, and that is coming from the direct. So what I'm saying is that when we start looking at these movies, we have to actually be honest and look at them at the in a microcosm, right? We have to say exactly what is profitable. Is the studio really making money? What did the audience say? You can say whatever you want about these movies and stuff like that if you didn't like it. And I'm not here to tell you to like a movie. That's unfair. Just because I might enjoy it doesn't mean you have to. That is absolutely ridiculous. Even if I don't like a movie, I could be able to critique it in a way that tells you why I don't like it. Here's A, B, C, and D. That's it. Right? And tell you why this is certain things I didn't like. There's certain things I did like. This is certain cinematography. This is certain I could be able to break that down. But just calling everything trash and slop or whatever, this is where the grift comes in. Because it seems like it's the usual suspects that they go after. And here we go with another James Gunn film, because these are Snyder Bros. And again, this is another question. If Neurotic cares so much about the Snyderverse and what Zack Snyder could be able to do with DC, why didn't they make a big push to make sure that Rebel Moon was a success? Where's the reviews on Rebel Moon talking about how great the movie was and making a push? You got 1 million subscribers, but you want to say that this is the definitive DCU? I mean, this is the definitive DC movies. It's just the Snyder cut of movies. Like, that doesn't even make sense. So, again, Alvin, you like Rebel Moon. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think Rebel Moon was good. You know what I'm saying? And I can point out why I didn't think Rebel Moon was good. But why didn't these guys tell you how great Rebel Moon is and why he's the person to be able to lead the DCU over James Gunn? It's a prime example of, putting your money where your mouth is. You know what I mean? So, and that was a big deal for Zack Snyder. So, whatever.
In many ways, superhero stories are American mythology, not only woven into the fabric of pop culture, but the entire culture. For generations, superheroes have captivated us with their embodiment of ultimate power and moral clarity, offering an escape into worlds where good triumphs over evil through extraordinary abilities and unwavering resolve. Their allure lies in the vicarious thrill of overcoming impossible odds, offering escapism where people can see themselves as agents of.
I'm still trying to figure out, is he ever going to put Blade up? Blade was a superhero movie that legitimately saved Marvel Studios. It's legitimately saved Marvel. Where's that at?
Change in a chaotic reality. Ultimately, superheroes represent hope and aspiration while inspiring imagination.
Now, I do agree with him. Not going to say what he's saying is wrong, because superhero movies are a form of escapism. There are a form of, of fantasy and wonder. We do see a lot of ourselves in a lot of characters, but don't be fooled. When you're watching this, don't be fooled. What he's doing is propaganda 101. What is propaganda 101? Propaganda 101 is talking about superhero movies, showing what you want people to see as far as superheroes, right? Have you noticed you don't see the X-Men in the X-Men films in here? Have you noticed he didn't show you a white female superhero at all? Blatantly obvious he's not going to show you a black superhero in this. He's going to show you what he believes a hero is. A white bread American male, and that's all it can be. Just look, Tony Stark, Superman, Batman, white American males. Nobody else could be superheroes in their world without it being slop. So I want you to pay attention, because what he's saying is correct. Also, he's doing propaganda 101. What up, D Sizzle?
Reminding us that there is the potential for heroism in all
Spider-Man?
of us, even if it's in small everyday acts. And for a long period of time,
Captain America, you see what I'm trying to tell you. Look at the images. Oh, you got it. I'm trying to tell you. Images is everything. Because what you see is what you believe, you start to believe. If I start showing you, if I tell you right now that it's snowing in Kansas City right now, and I just showed you just snow, so it don't even have to be from today, but I show you over and over it's snowing in Kansas City, you would legitimately believe it's snowing in Kansas City until you actually look for yourself and be like, yo, is it snowing in Kansas City for real? And look it up yourself. Then when you look it up yourself, you start to realize, wait a minute, why is he telling me it's snowing in Kansas City when it's 70 degrees outside of Kansas City right now? Why does he continue to do that for me? What is he programming me? Why is he showing me images of snow when it's really not snowing? Just like they show you images of war, or they show you images of a black neighborhood. They show you the most, the most comatose, destroyed area ever, and people actually believe that's how black people live. This is trying to tell you, programming 101. This is all it is, programming 101. Let's keep going.
Hollywood was able to, with varying degrees, capture this. So what the hell happened? Well, it's a tale as old as time, with one recent addition: greed, hubris, ego, and a slavish adherence to the message.
It's funny that he said, let me back that up. This is everything that defines a grifter that he's going to say.
Was able to, with varying degrees, capture this. So what the hell happened? Well, it's a tale as old as time, with one recent addition: greed, hubris, ego, and a slavish adherence to the message.
Isn't that what you're doing? When all you shown was white men as superheroes. Aren't that's what you're doing when you come out and you say everything is slop, everything is this, everything is that, but you never have a conscious solution to how everything can change that has nothing to do with white men and restoring the Snyderverse. Because there's plenty of superheroes out here. Not once, which is a $1 billion franchise. Did he show Enter the Spider-Verse? What about Across the Spider-Verse? Now, we're talking about great superhero movies. Everybody loves Enter the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse. Why didn't he show that? Why didn't he show Miles Morales? Oh, because his friend Eric July, who is an agent of these enemies, will call him Peter Darker. Oh, but if I show that, then it will show the hypocrisy that I'm trying to do by showing you nothing but images of white men. Men that have killed, men that have destroyed in their movies, men that didn't even have successful, variant movies, but I'm gonna show you anyway. Oh yes, Eric Fulai called him Peter Darker. So yeah.
At time of recording, the Supergirl trailer has just dropped, and I think this opening scene pretty much sums up the genre. And believe me, we'll get to that. But considering just that scene and the Supergirl poster that says truth, justice, and whatever, I think it's safe to say they've had a good run and superheroes are cooked.
Again. We talked about it yesterday. This is based on a superhero book that, from just everything that we have heard, is damn near adapting a good 90% of the story. A good 90% of the story. And I know Supergirl is on there. She's on the right-hand side, which they talk about her saving cats. He peed on that too, but no, he peed on James Gunn, Supergirl peed on Superman. And Superman was just so horrible that he got, 90-something% Rotten Tomato score. What's up, JD Informant? It's so bad. That's why he peed on it, because he don't like the white American characters. My white American male, he hates. Oh, my God, this is slop. Give me a biscuit. Put some honey on it. I feel better. Like, seriously. Literally, from her coat to her drinking, everything literally is coming from a comic book. And you have a guy who ran a comic book shop telling you that this is horrible. This is slop. You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah, come on. Whoever did this, just confess. We promise we won't be mad.
And have you noticed they've been blaming James Gunn for this and not the director of this movie? That James Gunn had, you know what I mean? That James Gunn actually is just the executive producer of this. But everybody gonna tell you, this is James Gunn, that I need to hear that same energy when it comes to Wakanda Forever, because nobody blamed Kevin Feige for that.
But how could you say that? We've got Spider-Man Brand New Day and Doomsday coming out. Well, believe me, we'll get to that as well. But how do we get here? Well, there is a plethora of videos on this channel explaining exactly why, but to keep this from being a 3-hour video, I'll keep this as brief as possible. Prior to 2020, Paramount and then eventually Disney were eating good with superhero films. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is something we will never see the likes of again.
Have you, I'm trying to tell you, have you noticed he's legit? I want to know if he's legitimately going to show any other superheroes of any descent besides white American males.
Phases 1 through 3 collectively featured 23 films that all, with the exception of The Incredible Hulk, were moderate successes to box office smashes.
All right, let me see if, just real quick, I know the Incredible Hulk wasn't gangbusters, but let me just see. Okay, yeah. So it was considered a moderate success. I can't with this. This internet sucks down here. Paid all that extra money for that, but they said the Incredible Hulk earned approximately $264.8 million worldwide against $150 million budget, with about $134 million domestic and $130 $30 million internationally, making it the lowest grossing MCU film today. Considered a moderate success, but overshadowed by Iron Man's success. So it made a little bit, but not enough at that time where there was no cinematic universe. So, yeah.
Dominating in a box office total that is approximately $22.6 billion. And that includes the highest grossing superhero film of all time while adjusting for inflation, Avengers Endgame. And the majority of this was accomplished without their biggest character, Spider-Man, and completely without X-Men and Fantastic Four, turning B-list characters like Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor, and yes, they were B-list characters, and Black Panther into household names. A consistency that has never been seen in Hollywood and never will be seen again. And if Kevin Feige would have quit there, his legendary status would be remembered to the end of days and maybe beyond. They wouldn't just name streets after him. They would rename Hollywood Feigewood.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Then there's the other side of that coin prior to 2020, the much maligned Snyderverse or DCEU. The first,
and let's be honest, DCU was cool, but not saying it was bad, but I've watched the new Superman movie way more than I watched Man of Steel. You know what I mean? But let's see what he talks about when it comes to the DCEU.
Three films were destroyed by the corporate critics, and we'll just say there was a lukewarm reaction from the audience, but from the...
I mean, the movies were... Look, Batman v Superman was not good. The theatrical cut of Batman v Superman was a boring hunk of junk. It was a boring hunk of trash. And then, you know, we're talking about really good casts or whatever. Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Yeah, I mean, Riddler, yes. Lex Luthor, hell no. There's nobody that holds Batman v Superman in high regards. You know what I mean? Now, did I like Batman in the movie? Yes. I love Ben Affleck's Batman in the movie. I actually like Ben Affleck as a Batman. But I'm not going to sit up there and act like that movie was great. That movie was horrible. That movie was horrible to me. I mean, Wonder Woman was good. You know, Man of Steel was okay. I still didn't like, Superman letting Clark Kent die, and some of the color that they use. I know that's a Zack Snyder thing, but I never liked the color palette that he used because it was just so dark and gloomy. I'm like, dark and gloomy is Batman's thing. Bright and colorful is Superman's thing. That I never really liked the cinematography in Man of Steel, but I did like the fight scenes. I did like some of the dialogue, and I did not like Henry Cavill's portrayal of Clark Kent. And I've always said that. I like his Superman, never liked this Clark Kent at all. Never liked this Clark Kent. Because I never bought his Clark Kent. You know what I mean? But let's be honest. If it was good, then we will still have a DCEU. Obviously, it was not good. The Flash, that tells it by itself there. Wonder Woman 1984. That's a bad movie. It's a bad movie. So,
people who do like them, they liked them a lot. And after Zack Snyder had to leave after...
Did they like him a lot? Let's see. Let's see. DCEU movies. Hold on. Hold on. God. All right. So, I forgot about Shazam. I like Shazam too. All right. Wonder Woman, 2017, 93%. Shazam, 90%. I actually liked Shazam. The Suicide Squad, written by who? James Gunn, 87%. Right? Birds of Prey, that was not a good movie. It's not a good movie either. Forgot. 73%. Wonder Woman, 1984, 71%. Remember, the people who liked them really like. What about everybody else? It's not just you, big dog. What about everybody else? 71% for Wonder Woman, 1984. Zack Snyder's Justice League. Critics, 71%. Audience, 92%. Aquaman, 58%. Even though that was a very successful movie. Man of Steel was 47%. Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, 24%. Suicide Squad, 2016, 22%. Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom, 33%. And you're telling me that this cinematic universe, that again, besides Wonder Woman 2017, which was directed by Patty Jenkins, Shazam, I forgot who directed Shazam, and The Suicide Squad, that was produced by James Gunn, written produced by James Gunn. Everything else was mediocre at best or bad. And the Zack Snyder movie, critics didn't like it, but audience did like it. I like the Zack Snyder cut, which is 20. It just says Zack Snyder's Justice League, which was 2021, which was it was long, but I did like the Snyder cut. Shazam was mega good. Yeah, mega good was in there. So, if we take everything else into consideration, highly, highly, highly between mid to poor. It did not score well. So, yeah, Jeff Johns was,
family tragedy and the abysmal showing of the Justice League, things actually started picking up with Wonder Woman that was well received by the corporate critics and the audience. Aquaman, which made
why you say corporate critics? Anyway.
$1 billion, and a film outside of the DCEU, Joker, which made $1 billion without China. And admittedly, both Aquaman and Wonder Woman had Zack Snyder.
Without China. You could just tell he's a Trumpster.
Snyder's fingerprints all over it, but reflecting the problems that they have with their source material publisher, DC Comics, they found themselves in the position of playing catch up to Marvel, a company that basically took everything they started in the comics and did it better. And this all had to do with Warner Brothers. Now, if Disney is Hollywood's most evil company, Warner Brothers is its dumbest due to studio interference, causing all of their problems. And they were utterly dominated by Marvel, except for one thing: Wonder Woman and its success combined with the Me Too Time's Up era.
Why, I knew he was going to do it. I knew he was. Not that Wonder Woman was just a good movie. He was going to use political talking points like Me Too movement to say this is the reason why it's successful. A woman-led film, a white woman at that. It couldn't be just good. It had to be Me Too movement push, or it had to be some type of agenda. Literally, what the whole entire hell? It just couldn't be a good movie. It's got to be. I put this on. How do you get cheeks, big dog? Like how? How do you get cheeks with your talking points like this? How can a woman get in the bed with you? No, do you know she's with you because you got money? That's it. That's the only reason why she climbs in and out the bed with you, because you have money. She doesn't climb in and out the bed with you because she loves your talking points. She climbs in and out the bed with you because you make money. That's about it. She hates your guts because there's no way that you can have this thought process and not view that movie just as a good movie. Now again, what did I say earlier? Superman is never. Yeah, she is Israeli. She's still white. She's still a white Jewish woman. But there is no point in Superman's theatrical history that Superman's been a $1 billion movie. Let's not give Patty Jenkins, you know what I'm saying? Let's not give Patty Jenkins her props. No, we're not going to give Patty Jenkins her props. We're not going to give Gal Gadot her props. No, we're not going to do that. Yeah, Robert D said get the likes up. Smash the likes out. Neurotic is over here smashing that credit card to get them to pay for them cheeks tonight. Like it couldn't just be his own merit. Plus, white women are the majority of America. White women are the majority in America. Nah, that couldn't be it. It could just be a good movie.
Made Kevin Feige blink and flush down the toilet a formula that was working just fine, bypassing decades of comic book lore that sold in the range of hundreds of thousands to millions, that rushed to adapt a more current era that was filled with race and gender swaps.
I knew it was all gonna be political. All of this was gonna be political.
In comic books that were more likely than not canceled, that sold in the tens of thousands, which includes the creation of the MCU from Kevin Feige.
I already knew it, but no, let's not give. Now, we can, as long as the characters are white males, we're good. Let us adapt, Captain Marvel into here. Nope, MCU. You know what I'm saying? Let's bring over Ms. Marvel. Nope, MCU. Not critiquing a movie by a movie. Not critiquing a movie by its merit as a movie. Nope, let's make a narrative to say this is what they're pushing down our throat. But again, if we go back and look at phase 4, after phase 3, we look at phase 4 and phase 5, guess how many movies or white male led, and guess how many movies, or white male led compared to women and minorities. Let's break it down. Let's break it down. All right. In phase 4, we started off with a great movie called Black Widow. White female led. I guess that's part of the MCU, even though Black Widow has been in the MCU since Iron Man 2, but let's forget that. MCU. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Well, we know we couldn't have a Asian around here because you're pushing an agenda down our throat because that's a person of color. And even though it might be close to what we need, you're going to be able to please China. We're going to be able to please China with that. Yeah, we don't like that. Eternals. Oh my God. Did you not only have a group of superheroes in there that nobody cares about, even though these group of heroes are essential to the story of the X-Men? They had a gay black dude in here. They're pushing that agenda. Gay. No, we don't like that. Spider-Man, No Way Home. Oh, I'm so glad we're back there. It's a strong white man again. We're back here. We went through, Black Widow, female MCU. We're done with that. Asian man, we're good. I like Kung Fu. I like Chinese food, but I don't like them on my screen in America. I don't like that. We're not dealing with that. Eternals. They had a black gay dude. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing that. But so glad we're back to our white bread American male. Matter of fact, not only we're getting the white bread American male, we're getting 3 of them of the same character. But I don't care about recast T'Challa because we're getting 3 Spider-Man in that movie. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I am so glad we're still riding the white male train. We're back on board, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, white males are here to stay. Dr. Strange, even though I didn't mention him as being one of the successful movies in Phase 4, along with No Way Home, we're back on that train, baby. We're back on the white American trail of Thor: Love and Thunder. Oh, man, the movie might be crap, but guess what? White American male saves the day again. The movie wasn't great. White American male. Love it. Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I could have been the voice of recast T'Challa, but I don't like black people either. And then they had the nerves to make, Shuri the Black Panther or MCU. More of the MCU. Remember, girls get it done. I don't like it. But I don't want to say recast T'Challa because then that brings a black minority up. And I don't like black minorities to be up there, even though he's uber popular. Then with my platform and with other people that I congregate around, like Thumbhead and Critical Stinker and Mayor McNugget, we could have led a charge to bring this guy back. But I will complain about black women in MCUs. And don't let me get on the shows. Oh, God. WandaVision, MCU. Even though that show was highly great, MCU. Oh, my God. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They turned my white bread Captain America into Captain Falcon. And I don't like it. Captain African American, and I don't like it. Bucky had a good arc. Why couldn't Bucky be Captain America? He should be Captain. And then they took the precious white character, of U.S. agent and made him evil in the eyes of everybody. Do you know how white American he is? He should have still been Captain America, not Captain African American. I don't like it. Loki, back to the white train. Back to the white train we go. What if? Yeah, he wasn't watching that. Hawkeye, white American male, but then he introduced a derivative of Hawkeye, female. Oh, God. Oh, God. Moon Knight, back to the white American male, but do I really like this show? I don't know. But at least he's white. Miss Marvel. Oh, here we go. Another minority woman we got to push down the throats. MCU. Oh, She-Hulk. Oh, my God, did She-Hulk make fun of me? I'm the people that they were talking about when it comes to this stuff. Oh, God, She-Hulk made me feel so much about myself. MCU, and I hate it. I Am Groot was so cute, though. I like the I Am Groot. These dudes are incels. Out of all the movies, you had Black Widow, Shang-Chi. Eternals was a group effort, so I don't really call that. Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So in Phase 4, 3 of your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 movies, 3 of them was minority or woman-led, right? Movie-wise. In Phase 5, Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania, white male-led. Guardians of the Galaxy, white male-led. Even though it's an ensemble, Peter Quill was still the lead. Well, actually, Peter Quill and Rocket Raccoon for that story. Still white people. The Marvels, the only female minority-led movie. Deadpool, Wolverine, white people. White males. Captain America, Brave New World, black male lead. Now, let's not go off of some of these movies just was not well written. Let's not do that. Let's put in political talking points. All he's doing is putting in political talking points to be able to push the agenda. Not that it just wasn't good movies. Not that they lost their way as far as introducing characters and introducing them in a way where the audience can be able to fall in love with this character by slowly but surely moving this character into position. Nope. Let's not do that. Let's put in political talking points because this is what I'm trying to push. And I'm pushing the fan base, so I'm no different than what I start to say about the movie industry.
I think we're getting to a point soon where we have so many great female characters that those are just our heroes, as opposed to when they are all female, all male. It's just the Marvel heroes, more than half of which will be women. And since taking a year off from a government overreaction to a cold for both companies, it's been all downhill from there. Disney Marvel decided to go all in on the MCU and the message and bypass this thing known as a plan, leading to...
See what I mean? Not that it's just not real well written. Not that just it doesn't have great movies. So everybody else could be a superhero except for women now, because that's what it's talking about. But again, hold on, just real quick. It's right here. White women are the large demographic in the United States, making up a significant portion, around 30 to 30.5% of the total population, and being the largest racial gender group. But they are not the overall majority of all people in America, as the U.S. population is increasingly diverse, with non-Hispanic whites people representing about 59 to 60% of the total figure, a figure that has been declining though. Still, white women are still the majority, the large population of this group. And what they're saying is, you can't be a superhero, go back in the kitchen and make my dinner. That's basically what they're saying. Even though in the comics, there's always, ever since I started reading comics, there's always been a female in the comics. There's always been a female in the comics. All of a sudden now, it's a problem. See what I mean? All of a sudden, it's a problem. Andre Ware, thank you so very much for the $2 super chat. Thank you for calling out these grifters. It's not a problem. I got to taste that honey sauce because it's the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce. Don't put that honey sauce on me because I don't like the way it tastes with my chicken wing.
Taste the biscuit.
Thank you for
Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
And it's funny because, again, if you know comics, then why is this a problem? Again, when people say, well, he used to run a comic shop. He used to run a comic shop. So whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo that he ran a comic shop. Do you see the agenda that he's pushing, though? Again, if you, the only problem that I have with the MCU and what they've done is how they just how they try to fast track a character and not introduce a character properly, and not having that character have the essence of the character from the comic book. That's what I have a problem with. They're not introducing these characters properly like they did in the beginning. Again, what the MCU did is exactly what James Gunn is doing right now. You introduce a character from the previous movie, and then now they go off on their own movie. You had Thor's hammer in Iron Man 2. Guess what? Thor's movie is coming up, right? You have you unthaw Captain America out. Now Captain America's coming. You know what I mean? You have Iron Man go talk to General Ross. Guess what? Incredible. That ties into the Incredible Hulk. You have Iron Man show up at the end of the post-credit scene of the Incredible Hulk movie. It brings it was a formula that worked. And again, if you ever read comics, again, New Mutants number 86 talked about Cable before Cable showed up in New Mutants number 87. Right? Same thing with Gideon, Deadpool, and Domino. There were already the works in it in New Mutants number 97. It's just the first thing that jumps out of my mind. There were already the interworkings there, and then he gets introduced. Him, Domino, and Gideon gets introduced in number 98. That's kind of how we used to do it in comics. And that's the only problem that I did not like about Marvel. They kept just throwing the show out here and throw it without the proper build-up. And without the proper build-up, it comes off lukewarm. That is an honest critique. You see, I said nothing about any political talking points or any of that. I'm talking about if you're going to adapt comic book movies, just like they adapt fantasy, then at least follow the formula of said comic book, just like they do with fantasy. It's no different. You adapt a book, you adapt lore from the book. We just did Welcome to Derry. They took stuff that even Stephen King wasn't talked about. He just hinted to it in the Stephen King it novel, and they made lore out of that to make a cohesive story of the story that they told on screen. What is so hard about that?
To diminishing returns that should
exactly
be taught
knowledge,
in film school.
Knowledge Smith.
Phase 5 was an era of lore destruction, character vandalization, both male and female, and identity politics. From Black Widow, a prequel about a dead character that performed so poorly it led to the film's star Scarlett Johansson suing Disney. To the
yeah, they forgot that was. See what I mean? It did poorly because it was a day-to-day release. If this is the pandemic, people, this is what I'm saying. You see how he bypassed that, but people forget. The day-to-day of release was not part of her contract. So she was not making money off of the box office. They were trying to get her to make money off of streaming. That's what the problem was. And she was like, that's not what it was. So it halted the money that she was supposed to make at the box office because of the pandemic. But let's bypass that and talk about identity politics. This is bull crap. And truth be told, Black Widow should have got a movie in phase 2 after she was introduced in Iron Man 2. Truth be told, that was a misstep by Kevin Feige. Just like how the misstep is when he race swapped the Ancient One to be able to placate to a large demographic that watch these movies internationally. But dude, the Ancient One was not a white woman, which he has came out and said that was a problem. So it was missteps by who? Kevin Feige. I can agree with that. But to just push past that, like we didn't have a day, that was at a day-and-day release. It violated her contract. There was no money in that. Come on, dog. Stop playing with me. But again, when you're dumb and you're watching this crap, you're watching this slop, you're not going to go back and stop it and say, wait a minute. What actually happened with Scarlett Johansson? Let me find that out real quick.
Good friend of Pepper Potts, who was now running Stark Industries, the Falcon not being able to get a bank loan where they insinuate it's due to his race, to the deification of the terrorist Freckle Jesus, to turning the Infinity Stones into paperweights.
Oh, God. Oh, God. I mean, again, even I had a problem when I was like, why can't Falcon get a loan? But again, they're telling the story for Sam Wilson. Just because you're an Avenger doesn't mean you ain't black in some places. And it's funny that that they bring up because he's black. And this is the first person who was talking real crap on Ironheart. And it wasn't because, the story was just so poorly written that it was, the consensus was like, this is poorly written just because she was black. Just because she was black. So they race swap Jesus most definitely. And then remember, the Infinity Stones outside of time and space doesn't mean anything. So to just throw this in there as a jab is ridiculous. It was explained in said movie.
To attacking fans in She-Hulk, to making Thor a bumbling idiot, to making Nick Fury a fraud, to Hawkeye getting his ass kicked by Kate Bishop and Echo, to making the Kingpin cry, to the abysmal flop that was the Marvels, to centering both phases around the villain Jonathan Majors Kang, who should have been fired for his performance and not for his...
What? He should have been fired for his... We know. So, again, here we go. Let's blame the performance. Let's blame Ant-Man and the Wasp on the black guy who was the standout of that movie. That was the hottest star in Hollywood before the allegations. And for a former criminal to say something crazy about, let me run this back. Maybe I'm overreacting.
Or a bumbling idiot, to making Nick Fury a fraud, to Hawkeye getting his ass kicked by Kate Bishop and Echo, to making the Kingpin cry, to the abysmal flop that was the Marvels, to centering both phases around the villain Jonathan Majors Kang, who should have been fired for his performance and not for his alleged allegations.
This dude is on my shit list now. He's most definitely on my shit list now. First of all, everyone went to go see Ant-Man and the Wasp because of Kang. Nobody went to go. If that was the case, why did everybody was pissed off when the allegations came out against him? Again, he's not going to say that, you know, his criminal trial was a sham. He's not going to tell you that. He's not going to tell you everything that happened with Jonathan Major was a bull job due to Alvin Bragg's and the Manhattan criminal justice system. I mean, as a former criminal, he should know how sham that some of the law enforcement could be, but he's white, so he probably got a slap on the wrist, whatever. But I'd be damned if you go talking about Jonathan Major's performance when the fact that everyone, that's all they could talk about was Jonathan motherfucking Majors when he debuted on Loki in Loki season 1. That's what everybody talked about. They did not talk about Loki. When they went to go see Ant-Man and the Wasp, they didn't go there for Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd had 3 solo movies that did not crack over 600 million. But when they left Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania, everybody talked about Jonathan Majors' performance. Jonathan Majors was the hottest motherfucking star in Hollywood. The fuck he talking about?
No. To the female Silver Surfer. Combine that with bloated budgets, bloated narratives, inconsistent storytelling, lack of focus, horrific CGI, and content overload. It was a recipe for disaster. Speaking of content overload, Marvel faces...
Again, when he was talking shit, where was the white male movies? The white male led movies. Who did they show during the white male led movies? Again, when you're watching this slop, understand the propaganda that is being pushed. Again, they're not going to tell you that Ant-Man and the Wasp in the Quantumania was poorly written. You know what? Let's throw I forgot the writer of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Let's use him as a scapegoat. Let's blame it on Jonathan Majors. Let's blame it on Jonathan Majors. Not the writing, not nothing. Let's blame all this other stuff on female characters. This is the agenda that he's pushing. This is the ideology that he's pushing. Do not, ladies and gentlemen, be confused on what you're seeing, because this is the propaganda that he wants to push. Everything's wrong with the MCU when they start introducing black people and women in their films. That's what he's telling. When it was white, bright, and everything, when it was white on white as rice, it was cool. Even though some of those movies were not. Especially for the DCEU. You see it to bring up the Flash, but yet let's blame it on women and black people. This is literally white propaganda 101. This is white propaganda 101. This is what they literally do, and this is sickening. Thank you, Ms. Roberta, for the $2 super chat. Somebody told a lie. Boy, I'm out here.
Gang, baby. Gang, baby. You are truly amazing. Gang, thank you for your super chat. Gang, baby. Gang, baby.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Every time there's a problem, they always bring up blacks, the feminist movement. They never blame themselves. They never blame themselves.
1 through 3 had roughly 50 plus hours in content in total. Compare that to Marvel's Phase 4 and 5, which had a combined 100 plus hours of content, give or take. And if
we've talked about this before. What's up, Tyler J? We talked about this before in the channel. What's up, Deron? That I was pissed. What's up, Emerald Goddess? I was pissed about how much it was. I told you, they went no limit. Pushing out content after 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 content. I said that was wrong. I talked about that before, but I didn't have to bring up political talking points. I didn't have to say that this was an agenda that was being pushed because there's no white males in here. You know what I mean? I didn't have to bring up that. It's just an overload of content, and the content that wasn't structurally done correctly. So there was no structure into that. Also, when you have poorly written stories, you can't blame Samuel L. Jackson for that. You got to blame the writers. When you have shows like She-Hulk that is so lost from the actual comic book character, I'm talking about from the comic book character to on screen, and she's so totally different. And then they try to make fun of incels like this jackass that's on my screen right now so he can get pissed and make more content about the MCU. There you go. Right there. It doesn't help. Instead of making great content and something that reflects the comic book character, they decided to try to make fun of this jackass. And jackasses like him. That's it. So it's ridiculous that we don't talk about. We got to pull some type of. These guys always do that grift and push political agendas, right? Instead of blaming the writing, the structure, all of that, it's always got to be something political. And they talk about conspiracy theorists and everything that they talk about. Literally is a political talking point based on conspiracy theories.
Even half of it was good, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Sure, there were successes, and if it wasn't for those bloated budgets, there might have been more, but the only unquestionable ones are Spider-Man No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine. Both films were filled with cameos from characters largely out of the MCU, and 75% of Spider-Man's profits went to Sony. Speaking of Sony, because we don't want to leave them out of this, although they are easy to forget despite the success of the animated Miles Morales films and the inexplicable success of a couple of Tom Hardy Venom films, they've also given us bangers like the memeable Morbius and Craven. You remember Craven came out, and of course the gloriously awful Madam Web. But there was one more success with Disney Marvel, the holdover Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, directed by James Gunn, who then fucked off to DC, where his first publicly perceived act was to get rid of Henry Cavill as Superman.
Okay. He did one. You know what's funny? Is that these movies were known not to be successful. And he got pissed off because he got rid of Henry Cavill. We about to go down to Seder Bros. Web of Deceit. That's what I'm saying. He can't even say it's a Spider-Man movie. He would never say. Now, Madam Web was horrible. Madam Web was just a horrible movie. It's a bad movie. Bad movie. Craven the Hunter is just as bad as Madam Web. It's just as bad as that. Is that Craven the Hunter is bad. Actually, I enjoyed Morbius more than I did those two movies, and Morbius is not good.
And Warner Brothers and James Gunn didn't do themselves any favors. Since the Joker's release in 2019, as far as films that have been released in theaters is concerned, they've had no less than 9 flops. That's right, Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn flop.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
Now okay, so these movies wasn't good. I'm gonna just see if it coincides with what we know. But also, Neurotic is also, if you ever see Cosmic Book Wonder, guess who they pull their information from? Who's writing that? Jackass.
1984 flopped. The Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn, flopped. Black Adam flopped.
Okay. To be fair, wasn't a financial success. That's because the DCEU was already tainted. Let's just be honest. It was already tainted. But the audience scores, people did like the movie.
Shazam! Fury of the Gods flopped. The Flash,
terrible.
featuring Michael Keaton's return as Batman and two Ezra Millers, flopped.
Terrible.
Let's talk about Blue Beetle. It flopped. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom flopped.
Terrible.
And Joker 2 flopped. And their only real success is The Batman, which
that was a bad movie. That was a bad movie. Jeez, that was bad. I'm not even gonna hold you. That's a bad movie. Okay, you said Wonder Woman. Did I go see Wonder Woman 1984? Did it come out? All right. Hold on. I think it did come out during the pandemic, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, okay. So Wonder Woman 1984 had a unique. You son of a. There we go. Wonder Woman 1984. It had the same issue as Black Widow. Wonder Woman 1984 had a unique dual release in late 2020. It premiered simultaneously in theaters, were available, and on HBO Max on Christmas Day 2020. With an international theater rollout starting earlier around December 16th through the 18th, 2020, due to pandemic circumstances. So it had the same situation as Black Widow. So
is a divisive film, mostly due to its horrible third act, and the best thing they've done since Joker 2019, the Penguin series on HBO. And then there's James Gunn's Superman, which was neither a flop or a resounding success. It's the film equivalent of our
again, if it makes money, then it can't be a flop. Flop is not making any money. Flop is, is Catwoman. You can't say it's a flop, but it's not successful. Then what is it? Did it make money or not? If it made money, then it means you got to admit that it's successful. It may not be 800, 900, $1 billion movie, but if it made a profit, turned a profit, that means it's successful. Again, super slop that these guys are pushing. Super slop.
Pal, It's a Gundam calls a gassed up mid. Since 2020, combining TV shows and film, DC, Disney Marvel, and Disney Sony have produced 66 projects. And the vast majority of them have been mediocre to abysmal. Because again, if half of those projects were mediocre to good, we wouldn't be talking about superhero fatigue. I mean, could you blame anyone? Even the biggest fans? Christ, 66 projects?
I mean, I can agree that is a lot of movies because Sony wanted to get on board. If you see the success that Marvel has, wouldn't you want to do it? Just like grifting, when you're making money and you decide to grift, you see everybody else now wants to grift, and people will come to this particular video in this live stream after I'm done in my comment section and tell me how dumb I am, how I wouldn't debate against you guys. How you're just mad because you don't have enough subscribers that he does, yada yada yada, all this other crap.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
And I can hear you now, hypothetical dear viewer. Is it superhero fatigue or bad movie fatigue? And my answer is yes. And now we need to talk about the future of superhero films. We'll start with Sony because this will be the easiest one to prognosticate. And arguably, they made the smartest decision by canceling all the Spider-Man villain spinoffs. And they're just going to make Spider-Man movies. And the only one they're really doing on their own is the third Miles Morales film that'll come out someday. Side note on Miles Morales.
Again, won't call him Spider-Man, call him Miles Morales.
Co-creator of this derivative character, Sarah Bocelli, recently
did you hear him call him a derivative character? But yeah, you're not gonna call Supergirl a derivative character, what she is. Everybody who is another Hawkeye, a female Hawkeye, derivative. Anybody who's like another character is a derivative. If you got Superman and you look at Gladiator, derivative. You know what I mean? If you look at God, what's the other guy's name? Superior, derivative. You know what I mean? Just he can't. I'm trying to tell you, can't help himself. Just listen. You gotta listen because they talk fast and make sure that you don't hear it.
Spider-Man villain spin-offs, and they're just gonna make Spider-Man movies, and the only one they're
not including Miles Morales as Spider-Man, which the actual Hyperion. I said Superior. Yeah, Hyperion. I'm thinking of Superion is right. No, Superion is right there. I'm thinking Transformers. Hyperion. Derivative. Ultraman. Derivative. But you see how he said they're going to make Spider-Man movies, but separated the white Spider-Man from the black Spider-Man? Because we got to let you know that this is a derivative. He ain't the real Spider-Man. That's Miles Morales or Eric Fulai. You know what I'm saying? He's Peter Darker.
really doing on their own is the third Miles Morales film that'll come out someday. Side note on Miles Morales, the co-creator of this derivative character, Sarah Bocelli, recently reported she's getting 0 residuals. Now, while it's an undisputed fact that Miles Morales is Miles Morales, Marvel should still pay the lady. As far as the DC...
You see what I mean? Miles Morales is you would not call him Spider-Man. Would not call him Spider-Man. Just, you can't make this stuff up. Would not call him Spider-Man at all.
EU is concerned, I would say it was looking pretty hopeful until Superman came out and James Gunn started running his yapper, which has been the prime contributor to the DCU being so divisive. Aside from the fact that he should have probably focused more on making a good Superman film instead of planning an...
I mean, if we want to look at the scores, we can't. Did he make a good Superman film based on audience scores? Let's see. Let's just see. So IMDb gave it 7 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes 83%. Prime Video 7.1 out of 10. So let's give it that. All right. So let's see. Just gonna look at Rotten Tomato. I mean, with 25,000 verified ratings, it might not have been what you feel like a box office success should be. Because I guarantee you, if it would have hit $1 million, this dude would have really lost his mind. But a 90% score and an audience score of 90% and a critic score of 83%, it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. Honestly, it's not bad. So now I've seen worse movies. But what you can't say is that the audience did not like this movie. That means 9 out of 10 people will rather watch Superman than your buddy's movie. So I'm just saying.
An entire cinematic universe that he was going to change anyway, including announcing The Authority as your second film, which wasn't even originally a DC title that belonged to Jim Lee's Wildstorm. Now, it was a wise move for James Gunn to scan that film, but what he's come out with so far is not exactly inspiring. And for starting an entire cinematic universe,
how is it not inspiring when literally you can look at the scores, people like the movie? So why wasn't it inspiring? Like, seriously, why all of a sudden now it's not inspiring when a majority of people like this movie? Again, this is pushing the narrative because he thinks his audience is stupid. And that's all it is. He believes his audience is stupid. And again, I told you we gonna have one that's gonna come in here. It flopped. Oh my God, it flopped. Oh my God, I see wet fish. And it was flopping. Flippity flop, flippity flop. If it flopped, why did Warner Brothers greenlight it for another movie? Man, it's all. If it flopped, why did it profit? See, when you talk about flop, you have to understand a flop means it didn't turn a profit. A flop means something like Madam Web that doesn't turn a profit. A flop means something like Kraven the Hunter that doesn't turn a profit. How did this movie that turned a profit end up being a flop? I mean, you came here. I didn't know you came. Remember, bitch, you clicked on my face. I didn't click on yours. You came here. So how was it a flop? Explain to me how it was a flop. Explain to me why 90% of people, 25, they serve just like if we were doing Family Feud. The survey says 25% of the people, 25,000 people came and surveyed. 90% of those people liked the movie. How many people did like the movie? How many people liked the movie? 9 out of 10. So how is it a flop? I'm not mad. Oh no, I'm not mad. Because if I was mad, you'd be booted off this live. I don't care what you say. You lie, neurotic lies, numbers don't lie. Oh, he's putting honey sauce all over. He can't. Oh my God, Snyder. Let me put honey sauce all over myself. Give me a biscuit. I need it.
Any focus, narrative, or world building. But there is one commonality with all the projects he's produced with DC, from the Suicide Squad to Creature Commandos to Superman to Peacemaker. They all feature a
do you understand that all of those movies actually the audience liked those movies? The Suicide Squad is going to be a ragtag bunch of people because it's the Suicide Squad. What the hell are you talking about? The Guardians of the Galaxy is a group effort. What the hell is he talking about?
Ragtag group of smart talking, irreverent, and semi-cynical heroes, but mostly anti-heroes.
But it's funny that the Shields would come to videos like this and call everybody else a shield, but you're literally all over this, all over neurotic and the Snyder Bright cut. Dog, stop it. Stop it. What mental gymnastics is somebody talking about? You don't like it. You know what you can do? Turn it off.
Heroes who come together due to some crisis and go on an adventure where they find the true meaning of heroism and found family. All set to a soundtrack of classic pop tunes music from bands that would fit nice.
Literally, this is the exact same thing that Critical Stinker said just the other day. Is it? Nah, he can stay. Let him go around here and flop around like a wet fish because he's a minority in this group and he's not part of this echo chamber. Your echo chamber's not here. He can stay. Go ahead. Go ahead, stay. I'm about free speech. I'm about free speech. He can go. Let him stay. He's going to be the only one. But again, let's get back to this. Critical Stinker said the same exact thing Neurotic is saying now. It's a ragtag bunch of people that go around and go on wacky adventures together. He literally said the exact same thing. Why is it? I'm trying to tell you. Is literally the same playbook. Literally the same playbook. Well, you real Harbinger, whatever your name is, Binger, whatever. You're really upset about this, ain't you? Ha ha!
In the mid-2000s Coachella lineup, which I know is totally different than Guardians of the Galaxy. But in all seriousness, as a fan of most of James Gunn's work, I did question if he was the right guy for Superman, and that was answered after I saw Superman. He's not the right guy. So far, we've gotten a cartoon nobody's watched, a Superman movie where Boy,
you talking about lying, a cartoon that nobody watched. Are we sure about that? Is he sure about that? That nobody watched this film? Or nobody watched this cartoon? Hold on. Let me see. Did anybody, let me see. Generally favorable. No, that's not, I don't want to look at Metacritics. I want to see, all right, he said nobody watched. Let me see. The third became the third most watched show in a full week release of any show that Max. Let me actually look at the actual numbers. Because he said nobody watched this. Just everybody didn't watch it. All right, let me go to televisionstats.com. Most popular show online, 494. It ended up being number 7 on Max. All right, because I like to show stuff. It'll be a number 7 on Max, which is great because based on all the shows at HBO Max, it did hit number 7 on HBO Max. 139 in sci-fi and fantasy, number 49 in animation, and 127 this year. So, let me see. It was number 2 on the best day, number 7 at the top. Let me see. All right, let me see. Try and just look at viewer. That's what I want to look at, viewership. But it obviously people watched it on HBO Max because he said nobody watched it. Yeah, this is what I want to look at. All right. Creature Commandos viewership on Max showed a mix, but promises start hitting number 1 multiple times and reaching 22 million minutes watched in its first week. Made it a top 3 show for the Luminate, but some reports suggest lower unique viewer counts, around 500,000 per episode compared to other Max hits like The Penguin. Though its renewal for season 2 indicates strong enough performances for James Gunn's new DCEU. High ranking. It reached number 1 on Max multiple times. It was the 3rd most watched show in its debut week on the platform. Watch time garnered 22 million watch in its first full week, according to the date Luminate. Estimated unique viewership. This watch time translates to roughly about 1 million total views for the first 2 episodes, around 500,000 per episode, and the figure considered modest compared to other HBO shows like Max. Renewal. Despite mixed engagement numbers, the series renewed for a second season mid-run, signaling a positive reception from Warner Brothers Discovery. Context. As the first project of James Gunn's new DCEU, its performance is crucial and success is seen as vital for reception in a new canon. So this is what it says on here. So this is my thing. A studio company whose whole idea is making money is not going to greenlight something for a second season if nobody's watching it. What's up, Dr. James Willis? What's up? Nobody's going to watch it if nobody's watching. They're not going to greenlit something that nobody's going to watch. So the studio, the company behind it, is not going to say, yeah, let me give you more of this if nobody's watching it. Just ask Zack Snyder and Rebel Moon.
Superman wasn't very super, and the best character was Mr. Terrific. And he's introduced things like prison sex and a drug-filled bisexual adult soiree before things like Batman and Wonder Woman. And yes, Peacemaker Season 2 in particular was as bad, if not worse, than any Disney Plus show. But absolutely.
That's a lie. That's a lie, but whatever. That's a complete lie.
Absolutely none of it is aspirational or inspirational, something that's vital in a Superman movie and for establishing the foundation of a DC universe. This brings us to the next film of the DCU, Supergirl, who was last seen at the end of Superman's James Gunn, where she called the Man of Steel a bitch.
Thanks for watching him, bitch.
Your little quips. We get it, man. You're edgy and cool. Yeah.
Now, the poster was revealed prior to the trailer release, where it said truth, justice, and whatever. Now, if they had used truth, justice, and the American way at any point.
Oh, he would have been so happy. He would have been so happy. If we just we gotta get that white American bread, American way. We gotta shoot it. But obviously, she didn't say that, and she's totally different, even though she is a derivative. Do you notice that he didn't call Supergirl a derivative character when she's clearly a derivative from Superman? Do you know that you see how he called Miles Morales Spider-Man? Miles Morales did not call him Spider-Man. But Supergirl is literally written as a derivative to Superman. You will not hear him call her a derivative. You will hear him crap on everything that's the truth, justice, and American way, even though Kara is a totally different character than Kal-El. But, you know, Grifter's got a grift.
In Superman, this might be justifiable, but considering they didn't, it looks like exactly what it is: more nihilism and cynicism. And the trailer certainly
didn't. Nihilism. Didn't I hear Hills? I'm sorry, Mayor McNugget say the same thing? He said exactly what Neurotic just said. It seems like these guys get together and say the same crap about the same stuff. And they want you. This is literally the easiest. If you're stupid, you could fall for this all the time. Literally, during that live reaction that Mayor McNugget had, he said the exact same thing. Not a coincidence that he said that this was nihilism and whatever else he said, because it's just hard to look at a peeled back McNugget.
Didn't help because, again, it opens up with Crypto peeing on the face of Superman on a newspaper. And for anyone
also pees on Supergirl, but whatever.
Trying to justify this by pointing out that Kara Zor-El is also on that newspaper, stop it. The stream hits him right in the damn face, and it was just a bad decision. Sure, good job on creating conversations.
But again, this is not James Gunn's movie. This is not James Gunn's movie.
Online, but it's not going to do anything to win people over. The only highlight was a 1-second silhouette of Lobo, but otherwise it just looked like another carbon copy of Guardians of the Galaxy, and it featured this line.
How is it? See, what was crazy is that you can't explain that it's being Guardians of the Galaxy when it's Supergirl and forgot the other girl that's in there. So how is it Guardians of the Galaxy? Just because it uses an 80s pop song that may or may not be in the video, be in the movie, just because she's ready to get attacked and Kara's about to drop a one-liner, no different than any other male superhero. Again, this is literally the same playbook. They're saying Critical Seeker just said this when Birdman did his video. Mayor McNugget and Thumbhead was saying the same exact thing. It's literally copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. Literally, it's copy and paste. Remember, they didn't like Superman, but all of a sudden they mad because the dog pees on them. The dog who literally was biting at his ankle, not listening to him, all of that stuff. Biting Mr. Terrific's, like the dog is bad as hell. Like, just be honest with you, Eastside Vandal, that dog is bad as hell. So him peeing on a goddamn newspaper, just so happen to have Superman on it, is not, like, out of the realm of possibility. Like, it's not, like, groundbreaking. Like, why is he doing that? Like, seriously, it's stupid. No, he's not going to read Superman Woman of Tomorrow. That considers work. And this is easy.
He sees the good in everyone. And I see the truth.
Just more irreverent, cynical nihilism. In other words,
literally, that's exactly what Mayor McNugget just said. Cynical nihilism. Not saying that Kara cannot be different than Kal-El because she wasn't born on Earth. She literally seen her homeworld destroyed. So now all of a sudden, being different, again, his buddy Eric July called Spider-Man Miles Morales Peter Darker, and we could be able to call that a derivative character, but another derivative character cannot be different than the actual person she's derived from. Get the f*** out of here.
James Gunn's wheelhouse. But if you were wondering why there was so much gaslighting to make Superman look like more of a success than it was, well, we got our answer. WB's for sale to Netflix of all places, which is the worst possible news for any Lord of the Rings fan, Game of Thrones fan, Harry Potter fan, and particular.
Oh my God.
DC fans. I mean, my first question is, what happens to DC Comics? Paramount is still in the mix, but what it does do is put James Gunn's long-term.
But you know why they want Paramount in there? I've told y'all who is pushing for Paramount. I told y'all. And all they're doing is following suit. This is the reason why they're going so hard on James Gunn. They're going hard at James Gunn because if I get enough people to believe that James Gunn is doing a bad job, even though the majority of people find these movies enjoyable, we might be able to get the people we want in there. We don't want none of these women. We don't want black derivatives. You know what I mean? We don't want this. What we want is white men being white man again. That's what we want. And that's literally why they want Paramount to buy DC Warner Brothers Discovery. So they get to make America great again. Y'all put it in the chat. I'm trying to tell y'all. So as long as white men is in charge and white men look strong and all of this and all of that, you know what I'm saying? And women are back in their places, you can't make this stuff up.
Future in doubt, along with the long-term future of the superhero film being in doubt. And this brings us back to Marvel, who's next.
Which is funny because he never mentioned anything that the press, that Netflix press actually brought out. He could have easily just did a quick Google search and it showed you what the press release said. Easy. But no, why would I want to do that when I could just create a narrative?
Two films are undoubtedly going to be massive hits. And that's because both films are going to be absolutely packed with cameos. Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to feature the return of the Scorpion, the return of the Savage Incredible Hulk, and Punisher, among others. And while I can't be specific, but this character's name has already been floated out there, the introduction of the first MCU member of the X-Men. And then, of course, there's Doomsday that features everyone else, a film that may devolve into essentially being Robert Downey Jr. kills the Marvel Universe, a movie I think that's going to be a lot closer to Doctor Strange Mom rather than Infinity War or Endgame. Still, it's going to be a cameo fest that's going to make a lot of money, but as with Spider-Man No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine, it is not.
Yeah, well, Alvin, we talked about that. I talked about that a lot. Having Professor Hulk go on this long is a problem. But it's a problem because you take away the essence of the character. That's why I didn't like She-Hulk because she was a woman. I didn't like She-Hulk because, of her twerking with Megan Thee Stallion. I didn't even care about that. Because technically in the comics, she would have twerked with Megan Thee Stallion. I didn't even care about that. Actually, I cracked up laughing because I'm like, that's the most Jen Walters she's been as She-Hulk than anything. The problem that I had was with the writing and trying to dismiss Bruce Banner. But she learns her lesson towards the end, but the dismissal with Bruce Banner and them and Marvel Studios dismissing Bruce Banner and the stories of the duality that he has to deal with as Bruce Banner and the Incredible Hulk is a story within itself, and it's tragic and it's heartbreaking. So to just totally disrespect and throw that out the window is horrible. It's horrible. So yes, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. Not for what they saying. That's the reason why I feel that they did a poor job with Professor Hulk.
going to solve the long-term problems of the MCU or superhero films. Recently, the Doomsday teams were revealed, and they were mostly dudes, leading to 5s and 10s of women on Twitter decrying that they need the MCU back.
Oh God. You found one thread nobody's screaming at. You found one person was like, I'm going to use this to push my narrative.
Proving collectively that they have the short-term memory of a goldfish, considering we just got the female Silver Surfer and Ironheart a few short months ago.
MCU versus MCU. Now, even I was starting to feel it was a little MCU-y the last year or so. Maybe, it sounds horrible, but
I'm really surprised he's using Grace Randolph, but again, I can't stand Grace Randolph at all. I can't stand her, but whatever.
But it was kind of getting crazy. I think Disney overall.
It's funny because he's only using Grace Randolph to push his narrative. That is getting a little too MCU-y and all of that. But then when you actually look at the film, that's why I did that parody, looking at the films and all of that. Because when you actually look at the films, there's still more white-led films than it is black-led films. Period. There's still more white male-led films than it is women or people of color led films, whether they're black, Asian, or whatever. So again, they're using this to push a narrative. That's it. Doesn't mean he doesn't even like Grace Randolph. None of them do.
Always had a little bit of an issue with that. No matter how many women you cram into these movies, for the most part, they don't go.
I'm sorry, could you speak into my good ear?
I know what you're thinking. The end is nigh. Grace Randolph just made a good point.
See what I'm saying? He only used her to push a narrative. He didn't use her because he actually believes in what he's talking about. He believes in pushing the narrative because, hell, just like me, you got to buy more toys.
But not to worry, she reverts back to form, forgets what she said a mere few seconds ago.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? He only used that clip to push the narrative, but didn't push the. I want to see if he's going to play the whole entire clip.
Oh, and contradicts it.
But I think that we might have overcorrected a little bit. This is an extremely male-centric cast. And I think not only is it male-centric, but it doesn't have any female characters to excite female and LGBTQ audiences. You know what I'm talking about. Those of us who love Wicked, Barbie, the Disney live-action fairy tales, and even Avatar.
Even Grace thinks Avatar is a movie for Barbie and Wicked fans. Anyways, to state the obvious,
but again, who did I say the majority of the population is in America? It's white women. The majority of America, but especially American whites, are white women. So to totally dismiss them is almost kind of disingenuous.
Marvel has been making movies for those demographics for the last half decade, and as you pointed out, Grace, they didn't show up. Barbie and Wicked Part 1 were successes because they were made for girls and gays, and they need to stop making superhero.
They're making for girls and gays. I haven't seen Wicked, but I actually like the Barbie movie, and I'm not gay. You know what I mean? At all. That's not my community. You know what I'm saying? And I enjoyed the film. When did it stop being about actual films and start being political when it goes to these films? You can always push the political aspects of it, you know what I mean? But you never just base the movie on its merit. And that's why I do miss Siskel and Ebert. God rest their soul. I miss Siskel and Ebert. I miss the days of watching them on TV. This is why I don't watch this mess. You know what I mean? This is why I don't watch this mess. You know what I'm saying? Or watch people like this. I'm even hate that this is part that I'm doing this, because now this is going to be a part of my my algorithm. For the simple fact is that we're not basing movies on a movie itself. Hell, I know that Mamma Mia wasn't made for my black ass. I know it wasn't. But if I went to go see the movie, I'm not basing the movie and say, me as a black man, do I like it? I'm going to the movies to see if it's a good movie. Is the structure of the movie well? How well is the acting? How well is the script? Does it hit home? What does the cinematography look like? What is the pacing of the movie? Am I bored when I'm watching this movie? Is there a character arc that I can get behind? That's the basis of a movie. And when you go into a movie and you critique a movie, that's the things that you need. No political agendas and all of that needed. Why? Does the movie tell a cohesive story? And is there an art with said story? Do I like the visual of the story? That's the thing that you have to look at when you're critiquing a movie. If you ever hear me critique a movie, you will never hear me at any political points, because I don't give a shit about political points. I don't give a damn. That's not what the movie's about. The movie is about a story arc on a character, B-side character, and an antagonist that goes along with it. Whether the antagonist is the mental health of a person or the antagonist is a gigantic monster, there is something that the hero in the story has to go through to get to the end so he can defeat said monster and then go into the next phase of his life towards the end of his movie. When did it all have to be political? This is ridiculous.
Films for Wicked and Barbie fans.
This movie is for the comic book girlies and gays, so y'all better start reading, okay? I cannot wait for Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow to come out.
Paraphrasing my good friend.
It's funny that he So it's wrong for women and gays to like movies now. That's just like me. You know Tina, my girl. You know, she dressed me. That's my girl, right? How would I look with her being a part of the LGBT community and be like, hey, you can't go see that movie? Matter of fact, don't go see no more movies because you're gay, because we don't want you in there. I know. I seen it. I seen it. That's why I laughed. It's just like seeing Tisa Tells in the Diddy documentary. I just gotta laugh. But because let me shut up. Let me shut up. But I'm not going to tell Tina to go watch the movie because she's gay. What happened? I thought this was a melting pot. Everybody should have the opportunity to go see a movie. If a gay person is sitting next, something is fucking wrong. I'm sorry. I'm about to really go off. This shit pisses me off. If you're mad that somebody's gay next to you watching a movie, then you need to get your motherfucking ass up and go fucking touch grass some damn where, because there's gay people here, there's black people here, there's natives here, there's people from India here and Asia here. You need to shut the fuck up and get over yourself. Those people that bother you, you have a problem within yourself. I just don't like bigotry. I don't like racism. I don't like none of that. I feel like I want to touch you like in the most inappropriate way with my fists. That's what I feel like. I'm not saying I do it. Allegedly, I might run up on you, honestly, because you have a problem with people that's trying to exist, that's trying to live. No matter what their color is, no matter what their sexual orientation is, they're just trying to live. And pussies like you, they got a problem with that. It's a problem with America. You really want America to be great again? Well, you have to understand that those people have been like that, especially from your community, since the dawn of time. Get over yourself. Now, back to your regularly scheduled program, already in service.
Friend Chris Gore, turning Marvel into a girl brand will prove to be one of the costliest decisions in entertainment history. But again, getting rid of the MCU and replacing them with cameo fests doesn't even begin to fix the problem. You need to win not only dudes back, but normies of all makes, shapes, and sizes. But getting an audience back is much easier said than done. Think about this. The movie that technically started it all for Marvel, Blade, can't be made today. Well, they can, but they won't, because they've dialed things up.
God, this is idiotic. He should be called idiotic instead of neurotic. It's idiotic because they had Blade on the table. Why are you not mentioning that Marvel could have easily had a slam dunk at $1 million franchise by letting Mahershala Ali just you could have redone Blade. Why do you saying that Blade couldn't be done? It's a vampire movie. We just literally seen Sinners be uber successful, and you're telling me that this can't be done today. Do you see how the narrative is pushed? It's just like some motherfuckers are still trying to ice skate uphill
to such ridiculous levels that it's not financially viable to go back to formula, which is what they need to do.
Back to formula.
Yes!
And that is the absolute state of superhero films. They were the most healthy when you could make a solo superhero film. Long gone are those days, and remember when they made comic book films that weren't Marvel or DC? From 300 to Sin City to Dread to History of Violence to Kingsman to Kick-Ass to Hellboy to The Mask. He had it so good back.
Have you noticed how many of those are white-led movies? And he wants to get back to that. That's it. It's all in a nutshell. He wants to get back to white male-led movies that makes it the hero badass. He can't have any feelings. He can't have any of that. But we know who the majority of the of shooters are in America. But I'd be damned if he has feelings and has issues that he could fix.
Back then, now they'll be able to make Batman and Spider-Man movies forever. But keep in mind, the next Spider-Man movie is again filled with cameos. And what was the last Superman filled with?
Hold up. I'm not the smartest guy in the bunch, and you could probably clip that if you don't like this. I'm not the smartest guy in the bunch. But if I go pull a comic right now, I can pull any comic right now. How much you want to bet that is going to have cameos from other people in it? How much you want to bet if I pull a comic book right now is going to have other people from other comics in it? Because I'm not the smartest guy in the bunch, but I swear that's how comic books are made. Matter of fact, hold on real quick. Let me take Jackass off mine. Y'all see that? Isn't that cameos from other people who have other comics? Isn't that people from other? This is just a comic book. This is number 4 of that issue. They didn't have to put Captain America, Thor, Iron Man on there, right? They didn't have to put them on there, right? But somehow he's on there with Spider-Man. But why is now all of a sudden it's a problem when you start talking about Cameo Fest in a comic book movie? But I'm tripping, right? I'm tripping. Let's get back to idiotic.
Cameos when they should be able to survive just fine on their own against their arch villain. But now everything just looks like Ready Player One. But some of the main components of most modern superheroes that are missing are earnestness, aspiration, inspiration, and heroism. And that
didn't Iron Man have Rhodey in it, who was a comic book character? I mean, if you really look at Superman, the Justice Gang I literally watched that movie yesterday. The Justice Gang, quote unquote, is literally in there for a total of about 5 minutes of actually movie time. The movie is highly focused on Superman and the problems that he's trying to have being Superman and trying to be human.
That's because I think there are very few left in Tinseltown who either believe in that or even know what it means. I think the vast majority see Superman as Homelander. The hero has been deconstructed to death. What they've needed to do for years, and it's possibly too late, is reconstruct a hero. The reason films like Star Wars, Christopher Reeve's Superman, and Sam Raimi's Spider-Man hit like they did, aside from being great films, is they were well-timed. They were inspirational stories in bad times. And God knows we can use that right now, and I know some might feel that is childish or naive. Well, I'd rather be that than some nihilistic black-pilled twat. Because
see what I mean? See what I mean? He super crash out on this. Super crash out on this. Because literally, isn't that what Superman is all about? It's just about being human. A god amongst humans. And he was like, I'm just as human. He's literally the whole entire movie trying to prove how human he is. And Richard Donner's Superman is very much a classic. But you know what makes it a classic? Christopher Reeve's performance, just trying to balance out being Clark Kent and Superman. It didn't have the greatest special effects. It was 1978. But him just trying to balance out being Clark Kent and Superman, you shoot the duality of that while just being a hero.
Now Hollywood's just deconstructing the deconstruction. When everything's irreverent, then nothing is. And how in the hell can you subvert expectations when the expectation is the thing we love is going to be subverted? And that's why people are just over it, which is certainly reflected in those.
I do wish I honestly wish Supergirl would become $1 billion movie. I do just because what do you have to say to? Then you're gonna say, well, maybe all the gays and stuff went to go watch it. Well, again, the majority of the people in this country are white women.
Box office numbers, and that's why it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that Crypto pissing on Superman's face is the encapsulation of the absolute state of superhero films, which is a damn shame because the degradation of our American mythology, including but not limited to Star Wars, Star Trek, and the superhero film, can match the degradation in pop culture and culture. And that's not a good thing. And we've gone from truth, justice, and the American way to truth, justice, and whatever. And if Hollywood doesn't care, why should we?
Oh, God, I'm glad this is over. I just spent 2 hours on this jackass. Get this dude off my damn... God, man, it's hard to get through that type of shit. It's hard to get. Now, to be fair, there's certain, which I pointed out, there's certain points that I could point to where he is right. But when you're doing an adaptation of a comic book movie, you have to also acknowledge what that comic book movie is, and are they staying faithful to the source material? And unfortunately for you, idiotic, that Supergirl, this movie, is a faithful adaptation to Women of Tomorrow. And that's something that he did not want to say, because then you are risking your audience to go read something that probably a lot of them will never, ever do.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that up, B.
I didn't spend too much time on this. I got to wrap this up. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the Drake Mack Show. What did you think about this video? Jesus, Lord have mercy. It's hard for me to do this again. But what did y'all think about it? Put it in the comment section below and let me know what you guys think. But again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can ever miss one of my videos again. Until next time, I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace and vibe harmony. Enjoy the rest of your damn day. Where's my outro? I got to get out here so I can cleanse my palate. But before then, I gotta go. Wait a minute. You're telling me the video's over? What? Huh. Okay, I guess so. If you have came to this portion of the video, thank you so very much for sticking to the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you really want to, you don't got to, go ahead and follow the social media links that's down below. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and Bob Hire, y'all. Y'all take care of y'all self.